Greetings, welcome to the Power of Purpose with me again, Anton NM. It's another day of inspiration. Today I want to talk about handling change. How do you handle change when it occurs? It could be the positive change or the negative change. As people say, change is inevitable. Change will surely come your way. Somebody said this statement: change is the only change which does not change but causes everything to change. Change is the only change which does not change but causes everything to change. When change comes in our life, most of us are often unprepared. Other people try by all means to avoid change because we get too comfortable with where we are and what we have achieved or what we have in life. Therefore, we do not want any instability or even just thinking about a different channel, even if it could be better than where we are, because we got so comfortable to where we are and we feel that things should move the way they are. Now, change happens whether we like it or not. John C. Maxwell has written a book entitled The Difference Maker, and he's talking about attitude. And in that book, there is a story about two men who left the town, the city, and find themselves in the middle of the desert. And in that desert, there was a pool of water, and other things were available, but there's nothing else that could happen in that desert. As months goes by, they begin to think about how they're going to navigate through life and the challenges that were coming towards their direction. One person thought, this is too much and I cannot take it anymore. And the person decided to move back to the city and says, my friend, I think this is not for me. This was not for me. This is not the change that I wanted. So let me go back and figure out how my life will be in the city. Maybe try to get a new job and get myself moving. And the other person decided to remain in there and begin to think about, how do I make my current situation, the current situation where I found myself, make more livable, make more peaceful, progressive, and happy. As he thought, there was a part of the soil in that desert that was very good, and there was a pond of water. And that man decided to turn that soil and begin to make clay pots with the water that was there and bringing the fire into the process. So he makes clay pots. As months went by, he made enough clay pots and found a transport to move the pots into the city. And he sold those pots and make fortunes of money. And he still found his friend in the city struggling, still not found the job yet. And that person went back to the desert and began to make more clay pots and bring back to the city. What is the nature of the story here? Is that one person could find a way to adapt to a different environment, to a changing season, and another person couldn't. This is what happens to most of us when we are confronted with change. I want to highlight 3 elements of life that you need in order for you to handle change. The first aspect is acceptance. You have to accept that change will happen, and when change happens, accept that you have found yourself in a new season and a new environment and a new way of doing things. That acceptance, when it settles in, it gives you some form of courage and strength to forge ahead and to look to a better direction of life. But the moment that acceptance doesn't sink in and you struggle and struggle to come to a level of acceptance, you will find yourself going backward, diminishing into the dark, and eventually maybe losing hope, just like the other friend. Acceptance is a very powerful element to life. Once I accept, I open up doors to more possibilities of a positive direction to life. Acceptance opens up ways and portholes of thinking to say what will be the best direction and best option to this. Once the acceptance has been laid down, you now move to the second stage or second element, which is attitude. And this is where the story of John Maxwell comes in, about the two gentlemen. Attitude in life is a crucial to changing season and environment. Once you have a reactive attitude where you just react negatively to whatever happens, you will fail in life. Attitude is the most powerful thing, because attitude is bigger than a degree. Attitude is bigger than any position. People with a positive, proactive attitude can overcome anything in life. Proactive means an attitude that is solution driven and solution based. And then you have another attitude, which is reactive attitude. So, but when you have a proactive attitude to life and to changing of season and changings of the environment, you look always forward thinking, progressive thinking, and it leads you to begin to proclaim positive affirmations and positive declaration upon your life. You begin to confess what is positive. You begin to think positive, because your attitude to life and your attitude to change is very proactive. It's solution driven rather than reactive or problem or complaining kind of attitude. Attitude lays the foundation that much of life's knowledge cannot lay, because attitude is the spirit of a lion inside any man, any woman that screams, says louder than anything else. And attitude also builds up a momentum through feelings and emotions that can make you continue moving forward or to quit. So attitude is very, very vital when it comes to handling change. It's basically your attitude to life, your attitude to the new environment, your attitude to what is in front of you. Is it a challenge? How do you tackle that? Do you receive problems or predicaments as challenges that actually can strengthen you, can expand you in all aspects of life? And then you come to the number 3 element, which is very vital, and that is adaptation. To adapt. So you need to now begin to learn new skills and new way of life. You can't do things the way you used to do them. You can't use the same knowledge, because that knowledge, that skill may not be able to be applicable at the present moment. So now, even myself, I have found many times in different places, different countries, I have to learn and adapt and learn new skills, how to survive and how to progress in that environment. And when you're learning new skills, you don't just want skills to survive. And I'm using the word survive because from hand to mouth kind of living. No, you want to learn skills to survive and as well as to be progressive in life, to grow, to develop. And that should tell you change is good. You don't know the capacity that you carry as a person until you are in a very different dimension of life, different environment and season of life. So change begins to unveil abilities and powers and mindset in you that you never thought you could possibly have. And as you begin to adapt by learning new skills, reading more books, getting an extra course, or doing something that you never thought in your entire life you can possibly do. Maybe you were a shy person, you couldn't sell airtime or fat cake or or anything in the street, now you find yourself, you are retrenched. You have to pull yourself. You don't have to be shy. You got to put shyness outside, because shyness will not bring food to the table. Shyness will not make you progressive. You have to begin to walk from one office to the next. Walk in the street. Begin to make things that you never thought you could do. Let people laugh. Let those who are mocking you do that. But history will tell you there are people who have been knocked down many times and they decided to rise again. And I believe you have more capacity in you. You have more power to handle the change that you are in right now, or the change that is coming your way. You have no idea how powerful you are and created, and how you can easily and swiftly adapt by learning new skills, acquiring new knowledge, and new perspective to life. These three elements can help you handle change in a very smooth way. It might be painful. There will be dark days. You will be discouraged once in a while. But if you can accept and have a proactive attitude to change and adapt by acquiring new skills, new way of living, new thoughts, going out there, break walls, do things you never thought you could do, in order for you to have what men are not going to have. Change comes for the best. Nothing. You decide whether change can build you or change can break you. You have a choice. The choice is in your hands. The change you are encountering, be it in your own life, in your finance, in your relationship, in your community, in your family, is it going to build you or break you? Life is in your hands. Acceptance, proactive attitude, and adaptation by developing new skills and new knowledge in the change you find yourself in will help you move to greater heights, and you will be the best, and you'll come out of this smiling on top. And them that refuse to change is them that are dead. You actually die when you refuse to accept change. Change is good, and change will come to move you from one level of life to the next level of life. You will not elevate, you will not develop without change. You have to push yourself. If change doesn't come, you can follow change where it is by being determined to say, I want to move in a new environment. So you can't do the things you used to do in order for you to elevate to the new level. You have to change, and you have to accept change, whichever way that comes. Will this change break you or build you? Thank you.